Hey guys, welcome back to Juice on the Rocks, presented to you by the Finest in TV with your host, me, Aunt Juice. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Thank you for any engagement and love that you have shown my content. If you don't mind, if you would please hit the like, share, and subscribe button to let me know that you are enjoying my content. That would be gratefully appreciated. Now, without further ado, let's get to the business. Thank you guys. Hey guys. So I wanted to go back and kind of touch on the new information that DPD dropped about Naziah Harris's case and the initial reports that were made back in 2022. Remember when I had said in my other videos that I felt like that they didn't, thoroughly search for her during her missing persons investigation last year when she initially went missing. Um, my thing is this: what made us or them even believe that they did a thorough job investigating her being missing if they had completely dropped the ball in the initial reports of her being abused in 2022? They didn't care enough about this girl to initially investigate the claims of her abuse, nor did they really care enough about her to thoroughly investigate her being missing when she actually went missing. Um, I feel like I found key pieces of evidence. I feel like uh Tootie even found another key piece of evidence. If you go back and look at one of her videos, in which I will show y'all the clip that I'm referring to, shout out to her. She's been amazing on this case. And there was one particular video of hers that I had watched, and I think I showed y'all before, that she had found a blue bumper that was sitting off into a yard. If I didn't show it to you, I think I mentioned it. If I didn't, I'm mentioning it now. She found in one of her street views a blue bumper, and I think another commenter had pointed out when that photo was taken back in 2020, back in well earlier in 2025. But the bumper just surprisingly looked like it matched with the car that Jarvis was allegedly driving that belonged to his child's mother, Latricia Johnson. Um, so based on that and the photo that I found from Google Earth doing my street search, of the bottle of antifreeze and the bottle of what appeared to be like a juice bottle, a plastic juice bottle sitting right at the entrance to that location on 7 Mile and Berg Road. Um, I just find it hard to believe that they actually thoroughly searched for her. Um, and even the investigator said herself, the lead investigator on the case, she said herself that she couldn't be bothered, to pick up every single article of clothing that was out there. They literally, if we listen, they're literally telling on themselves that they didn't bother to properly investigate her case and her being missing. So I think my issue is that when I said it, like, people was trying to, push back on me a little bit. Maybe it's that you just don't like the messenger, but the message still stands. If they dropped the ball in her initial claims of the abuse, they, in my opinion, also dropped the ball during the investigation into her being missing and her potential homicide. Um, I think at this point, I think we want to hold on to her possibility of being alive, but the more that we keep going and keep diving into this case, it's just looking more and more like that's just not plausible, because I personally don't know any teenager that can be away from their electronic devices, that don't get on social media regularly and post or say anything at all. Like, there has been no trace of her in over a year. Um, and I know that we don't want to believe that she is gone, but I think at this point it just looks that way. Um, but I just wanted to take the time out to come back and talk to y'all because I literally said this in my other videos that they dropped the ball, and I think majority of us that have been following this case agree. You know, um, and I think that they need to go back and check 7 Mile and Berg. I stand on that. That area is sticking out to me. It has been nagging on my conscience for a while. Like, this girl, I feel like she's out there, and I feel like she's not going to let me rest until we find whatever it is that's over there. And I think I did find it. Just so happened to be on the internet doing a search of the area. I know it's not the same as being boots on the ground out there, because trust and believe, if I had the means to go out there and look myself, I would do it. I would absolutely do it. Hell, I'll put it to you like this. If somebody willing to, you know, um, to help me get out there, you know what I'm saying, by whatever means, whether it be offering me a ride, a plane ticket, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case, and then I could try to find somebody to keep my two boys for me, I'll get out there and I'll look myself. I will do that because that's how much this case means to me. This how much I want her to have justice, because somebody need to do right by this girl. And if it's not going to be the people that's supposed to be responsible, then I think we as the people should come together and do it ourselves. I feel like the majority of us that's been on this case know what it is. I really feel like that. And if, like I said, if I had the means, if I was in Detroit myself, I would go over there. I would put on my boots. Y'all know I be Nike boot out. I will put on my Nike boots and I would get out there and I would start digging and looking myself. But I really feel like she's out there. And if she's not out there, then it's something that's supposed to be found that's key and crucial to this case that could bust it wide open. And I feel like that. And I feel like I found it. That bottle of antifreeze in the other video that I showed y'all, that's just literally sitting there. I feel like, yeah, we may not know how long that's been sitting there or whatever, but why not? Why not go and collect it? You know what I'm saying?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
With cadaver dogs in boats, in the water. There's several log jams. We had state police actually had their helicopter fly the entire route so we could GPS all the log jams. We had to coordinate with specialized teams to come in to help cut these log jams apart, which go throughout the river. And then throughout the season, obviously we had some rain, so the water goes up and down, which now brings the debris onto the land. So you have to actually search the land a couple 100 feet in some places that the water has pulled debris. We searched the homes, as I said, searched the vehicles.
So, when you're out there at 7 Mile and Berg, do you have an idea of what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the idea of what you're looking for?
So initially when we were out there, again, we had the clothing description. We had the picture of her that she had sent that night, or that day that she went missing on the 9th. So we were looking for the black hoodie. We were looking for, again, initially we were told blue and white gym shoes.
Now, is there a time where that changes?
Yes.
Okay, and what is it that makes that change?
So as we go out to areas and search, when we leave, a lot of times large community groups may go out there, right? And they saw that we were at 7 Berg, and I know people come out there to help. There was a group that had been out there and they were recording, and they saw a pair of Nike shoes, which were the red and black. We were alerted of those on our initial search. It's documented in our river search report. But because we weren't focused on the red and black, and we were looking for blue and white Nike shoes, we left them there, but we did GPS the coordinates.
Stop you right there. That would have been Border Patrol Agent Wyatt Barnes.
Yes.
Okay, you heard his testimony.
Yes.
All right. So continue.
Yeah. So on our initial search, we knew they were out there. The pink hoodie was identified, but we didn't collect them because, again, we didn't have anything about a pink hoodie or a pink onesie, and the shoes weren't matching. And there's a lot of clothing out there. There's a lot of shoes out there. There's people's clothes. There's all type of debris. So I can't collect every single piece of clothing and article that we find. Later, I get the information that as the search team is out there, they had called 911 because they saw these shoes. And they posted a picture of these shoes somewhere or sent it to Naziah's brother. Naziah's brother then reached out to me and he sent me a picture of Naziah wearing the black and white Nike shoes.
Okay.
Once I saw she had the exact same shoes on that are depicted, that were described out there, I knew immediately where to go. I gathered a couple members of my team and we immediately went back out to where the shoes were GPS located and recovered the shoes. As we were there, that's when we found the black hoodie and then the pink jumpsuit that had been laid out by Agent Wyatt.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we have revisited that clip of the lead investigator on this case, you clearly heard her say that she couldn't pick up all of the clothes and things that were out there. My thing is, when you're investigating a potential homicide or even looking for a missing person and you've been given an area to search, I think that it's important that you consider all of the evidence. Anything that's out there that looks out of place, like it could be evidence. I don't care if it's a clothing garments or maybe even something that looked like it may have been drank out of, or or something like that. Hell, it could be a gas can in a match. Pick all of that shit up. Pick it up. Bag it and tag it. Yo, literally anything out there could have DNA or fingerprints on it, that or hair even, that could, tie this case, to either one of them. And didn't they say in the investigation that more than one DNA sample was present? They just couldn't determine how many males were present because there was Y in the chromosome analysis. So I'm not understanding why these people who are supposed to be looking for this missing girl couldn't pick up everything out there, bag it and tag it, and just take it to have it analyzed. I understand that takes time and resources and things like that, but if it were their children, they would want somebody to do that for them. Anything could have their DNA on it. DNA can transfer. You know what I'm saying? If he took for excuse me for saying it this way, but I have to be raw with it. Like, even if he took something and bashed her over the head with it, don't you think blood spatter would get on it? You know what I'm saying? Or if she was fighting back, maybe she rubbed up against something and their DNA got on her and it got on that other stuff out there. Like, you just never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. You have to consider everything. And she said that, and my thing is, had they collected that stuff in the first place, they wouldn't have had to go back. That stuff had been rained on and all this other kind of stuff. Like, the elements had gotten to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Y'all knew that stuff was out there in the first place. I understand that y'all had specific things that y'all were looking for, but you have to also consider the things that you are not looking for. Like, you already said that there was a few things out there that did belong to her. So why not collect all of it? I'm not understanding. And she clearly had a bag on her when she got off that bus. I don't know how people keep missing that. She had a bag on. In my opinion, she had a change of clothes in that bag. Like any other teen, because I'm guilty of it too. I might come out the house looking one way and come back looking a whole different way because I done changed my clothes. You know what I'm saying? Or I might put on something that I know I ain't supposed to be wearing. You know what I'm saying? After I leave the house, In my opinion, I feel like she had them clothes in that bag. And I feel like she may have, instead of going in the house, she walked in the direction of her house and went like maybe on the side and threw some, changed her clothes to avoid going in the house and running into Shannon because she knew that she was going to go meet Jarvis. That's what I think. And I think that she changed her clothes. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that that's what happened or whatever, but I know that sometimes teens will do stuff like that. They will, switch up clothes, you know. I mean, it's just a thought. But at any rate, I feel like that evidence should have, all of it should have been bagged and tagged. I don't care if that's what they were given to look for on a list of things that they were supposed to be looking for or not. Anything could have DNA evidence on it when you are investigating situations like this, you know. Um, there could have been a struggle. She could have, anything, anything could have tied them to this. And furthermore, like I said, how much searching did they really do? Because if I could go on daggone Google Earth and search the area and find a whole bottle of freaking antifreeze and a bottle of what appears to be a bottle of like a juice container sitting next to the bottle of antifreeze from a picture that was taken in that area that they searched from 2024 June. We don't know how long that's been sitting there. And that could be a crucial piece of evidence that could tie him or whoever to this case. To me, that's no freaking coincidence. And I would beg to say that that thing been sitting out there since she went missing. I beg to say that that's probably the murder weapon. Allegedly. Everything that I'm saying here is allegedly. I mean, I'm floored at the lack of compassion and empathy from these people who were supposed to investigate these instances appropriately. Now, that lead investigators say that they got out there and they cleared log jams and all this other kind of stuff. I don't believe that because the current Google images of the Rouge River doesn't appear to be disturbed like ever. Nothing over there appears to be disturbed to me. So I'm not understanding, why y'all would say that y'all went out here and did these things and clearly it looks like you didn't. And if you did search, you literally probably went and did what most kids would do when their parents tell them to look for something. You probably went and you looked, but you did not search. And now I gotta get up and go and find it. And ooh, I found it. And now I'm mad because I did what I asked you to do. I had to do it. Y'all know what I'm talking about when your parent get mad at you because they asked you to go look for something that you was looking for, and you asking me, have I seen? I say no, go look in your room behind the bed. It might have fell back there. My kids, that's usually where stuff end up at for my kids. It'd be behind a bed somewhere. And I'd be like, I told you to look behind your bed. And they'd be like, I didn't see it. But then if I gotta go up there and look and I find it, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's one of those things to me. I feel like it's one of those things. They may have deployed helicopters and a diving team and all like that. They may have, but did y'all really search? So yeah, you got people out there to come out there. You paid them, you cut a check for them to come out there, but did they really look? I feel like y'all just kind of chalked it up to, oh well, she's missing, so we just gonna chalk it up. We not gonna never find this girl. So you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's just so that's so such lack of compassion. And I mean, I understand that a lot of these agencies and people that they had to deploy to come out and do these searches are probably underpaid and overworked. They probably burnt out. They probably emotionally drained and all this other kind of stuff. I get it. But you have to put all of that to the side and really, really like look and search and be thorough, because you would want the same if it was your kid or your loved one. Now, if I, like I said, if I had a means to get up there and do it myself, this area is nagging me so bad. It is nagging me. I want so bad to get up there and get whatever equipment I need, like them tall rubber boots and whatnot, and get out there and get in that water myself and start digging around and looking. I feel like she's in there, and it's bothering me so bad, y'all. It's really bothering me because I feel like she over there. I feel like they overlooked it or somehow missed it. And if she's not over there, I feel like that container might be the key evidence that they needed for this case. And and let's even go back to and I have to go back to when Tootie did her walkthrough virtually in the streets and stuff like that, especially over there around that shop. There was a whole half of a piece of bumper that looked like it fit the description of that car. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that, but it looked I mean, it's mighty freaking coincidental. Like, come on here. Like, let's really be for real for 1 second. A lot of this stuff is just, to me, it's I mean, coincidental as a mug. I'm sorry, but I really feel like these are key pieces that we could be, you know what I'm saying? We could be missing, or somehow these people that's supposed to have investigated overlooked. Like, why is that container sitting there like that? And that's been sitting there in June. The photo is from June of 2024. And ma'am, detective, y'all said that y'all went out there 7 or 8 times to search the Rouge River area. Like, you couldn't have. And then, not to mention, y'all didn't even get out there until a month later. Per your own words, you said a few weeks. A few weeks is as close to almost a month later. A few mean 3, so that, roughly. And then you had to take time to call on these deploy these services, the divers, the helicopters, and things like that. You had to prepare to search the area, so that even probably took a few days to put together, to get a whole search team together. So yeah, we gonna say roughly about a month later, y'all didn't even get out there, and then you went back 7 or 8 times, you say. And then you said one of those times you went out there, it was covered in snow. Man, come on. Like, how y'all not playing in my face? Y'all not playing in my face. So unless y'all went back, let's say 7 days in a row, that'll make up your 7 or 8 times. I don't think y'all was doing it like that. I think y'all was going out there over a period of some weeks, which probably would have been, to me, to do a thorough search if this went the way that you said, because y'all had to clear log jams and do all of that. All of that takes time. So I'm looking at, got out there around what, March, April, went back 7 or 8 times, you said. So I'm looking around May or June when y'all could have completed that. And not to mention, y'all didn't go immediately to Rouge River area. You went to Ypsilanti first. So how are, like, there was so much evidence left in Rouge River area that it's just screaming to me that y'all just overlooked a whole bunch of shit, and you just went down there, you looked, but you didn't search, and then you just dipped. That's what it's giving to me. I'm sorry. And I feel like if it was any of y'all's kids, y'all would want people to actively be searching. I'm talking about picking up shit, moving stuff out the way, doing all of that. I understand you got to be careful in how you search it too, because you don't want to disturb anything that could have potential DNA or evidence on it, um, hair or whatever the case, on it. But at the end of the day, I feel like this whole ass bottle just sitting there, just like them clothes was sitting there, like, y'all y'all went and showed up and checks were cut and people left. That's what I feel. So I want this girl to get all of the justice, because up to this point, she's got none. And in my opinion, she's only ever had two people that really ever gave a damn about her. And to me, that's Jernell and Kiwana. And I take my hat off to them ladies, because they did what needed to be done within the constraints of the law. and it doesn't fall on them that this case went the way that it did at all. I feel like they did everything that they could do because they have their own families, they have their own kids. They couldn't just run up in somebody's house and rescue kids from allegations of abuse, because that could be lead to a kidnapping charge in which they would be taken away from their own kids. What good are they going to be in jail? They can't help anybody from jail. So hats off to them for just being present, because a lot of other people failed her. Um, and it's not just, family, but it's these various organizations, divisions of the law, and things like that. They all failed her. And that's per DPD's own mouth. So, yeah. But my opinions, you know, and I'm entitled to it. As far as Jarvis is concerned, I hope he rots. I hope he rots. And I feel like he is solely responsible for her direct unaliving. I do. And I do feel like there were other persons present. I do. I feel like he didn't do it alone. I feel like other persons were present, but I feel like the actual unaliving, I think, was is on him. That's just my opinion. And I feel like uh because of the evidence, the DNA evidence that was found, the investigator said that, she couldn't determine how many males were present, but she said that a Y chromosome was there. So, yeah, Y chromosomes were there. She just don't know how many, but she did determine that it was more than just her and Jarvis DNA present. So, allegedly, allegedly. So, I'm just saying, why not collect everything that was out there? I don't give a damn what it was. I feel like they did a horrible job searching. And she literally, the lead investigator told us that. She said I couldn't pick up everything that was out there. Why not? You said that you employed a whole team of people to search. Why wasn't y'all bagging and tagging? I don't understand. I understand that you were given a list of what to look for, but honey, anything could have gotten her or his DNA, or whoever was present DNA on it. Fingerprints could have been on stuff. Hair could have been on stuff, crucial stuff that could have literally tied him directly, or whoever directly, to her being missing and or unalive. So, I feel like all of these failures, um is it's unexcusable, because y'all literally just told us that you failed the initial claims. You failed her on that, and you didn't bother to properly investigate, even though you deployed resources. Why are you paying for resources that are not thoroughly investigating? And that's just my opinion. I feel like a lot of stuff was overlooked and missed. So, but let me know what y'all think in the comments. And I will be back with another video. I hope you all are having a uh great day, and I hope you have an even better week. Justice for Naziah always over here, and that's what I'm sticking to. So I want that. I'm manifesting that, and I hope that everyone involved in her disappearance and alleged unaliving are held accountable. Every last single one. I'll see y'all next time.